Run the accelerated onboarding, PZ will automatically create a chatbot that will help you schedule appointment. So what you can do, how you can customize the chatbot content and messages, go to campaign, click on chatbot flow, and look for a chatbot flow by name of car workshop. And once you open the chatbot flow, you will see a flow very similar to this. And you can notice that the chatbots have different color nodes. So let me explain a bit what are the different color nodes and what are the purpose of these nodes. So white color nodes are content nodes. These are content that your chatbot would or messages that your chatbot would send and receive. Within the prefabricated chatbot, there is already existing content, so you can automatically change the messages. For example, this is the initial message that the chatbot will express whenever a new a recipient messages you on your WhatsApp channel. So you can always change the content by merely changing the text here. Now, you can also notice there is a little tiny toggle here that says wait for user message. Now, what this means is that once the chatbot have expressed this message, it will not proceed to the next node. That means it will not move to the next node over here, which is this one over here, until the user have replied to this particular message. So whenever you want the chatbot to wait for a response, please toggle on this node. So the chatbot flow works in a single directional way. So whatever you're connecting to, like this, for example, it goes like this, it will always move this way, right? Following the arrow key here. Now, within your content node, you can send messages, text messages, images, or even files and videos. Or alternatively, you can put in a catalog, card, and carousel. So card are messages that you can add in title, subtitle, images, and even buttons that would allow the user to reply by clicking on a button instead of typing in their reply. So this will be very convenient if you want expedient answer from the user. Now, the yellow color node or the condition node are useful if you want to have a split in the flow. For example, in this situation here, okay, we ask the user, hey, are you looking to fix your car? And we give the user two options, yes or no, right? So yes here, we repeat again, yes is the label of the button. And when they click on this button, they will send a message by name of yes. Now, we always recommend that your button label and the button text match each other, but you do not necessarily have to be the same, right? So let's just say if the user click on yes, the condition no here will check. If the response equal to no, then it would go to this particular node. Otherwise, it will travel over here. Okay, so condition nodes are brilliant if you want to run certain form of logic checking. So in the condition node, in addition to checking based on response, you can also check based on the label of the contact, the variables within the session, or even the contact attribute, the events, and if you like, even JavaScript coding can be added in as well. Now, in addition to the condition node, we have action node. Action nodes are useful when you want to save certain attributes. For example, if the user, let's take an example here. In this example, we ask the user, we ask the contact, what is the car make? And based on the user's response, we want to save that car make as an attribute for the contact. So the next time your salesperson want to talk to this contact, they know that this contact is driving a Honda, a Toyota, a BMW, or a Mercedes. So for action, we have multiple different action types. You have the most standard, which is setting an attribute. That means set contact attribute, right, over here. You have set contact variable, create a variable that is a permanent during this particular conversation session. So a session is a conversation that will a session in a conversation will expire after 24 hours, right? So if you want to remember a temporary variable, for example, if you're creating a chatbot that takes food order menu, so you want to remember what the contact have ordered within 24 hours. So if whenever he or she stop in a conversation and resume, you recall, hey, you have ordered a pepperoni pizza, right? Do you want to continue on with that order, or you want to create a fresh new order? A variable is excellent for that purpose. You can create a label, save a variable name into the contact, change the contact status, or even run JavaScript code. Okay. Now, in this chatbot example, the for the appointment setting, it's a very simple flow. So whenever the contact comes in, the first thing we check, if this is a new contact, okay, the first thing that we do is that we'll greet them. Because this is a new contact, we'll ask and check if the person have previously mentioned what is the person's car make, car model, and the year the car was manufactured. You can see the condition node will first check, hey, is this attribute pre-existing within the contact? If it's already existing, we'll skip that question and move to the next question. So every single time you'll check, hey, have I asked this contact before this question? If this contact have already answered this question, I will skip and move to the next question. Whenever the contact asks this question, like whenever the chatbot asks the contact this question, we will always persist it, save the contact response into an attribute, so that the next time when the contact message us again, the chatbot will remember what we have previously asked the contact, and will, if the contact have already answered that question, it will skip that question altogether. Take for example, in this example, we will first check, hey, is the car make attribute present? If it is not present, we will ask, what is your car make? Based on the contact answer, we will save the response into this car make attribute, and then it will move on to the second question. Now, let's just say if the contact have what they call was interrupted after answering this question. 48 hours later, it continue on the conversation. The chatbot will first check that, hey, since this contact have already answered this question, it will skip this flow and move directly to the second question, right? So this is how your chatbot can be sentient enough to recognize a contact and not be irritating and annoying and ask the same repetitive question again and again and again. Now, this chatbot will ask three different questions, okay? Car make, car model, and year manufactured, before finally um, sharing the link to make an appointment. Now, if you like to change the content of the chatbot, so change any of these white notes. If you want to change the question of the chatbot, you need to change these three notes. So for every question, you need to change each of these three notes. Let's take an example. Suppose I want to instead of asking the car make, I want to ask, the car type, whether the person is driving a sedan, a pickup truck, or a convertible. So first thing I need to do is change the attribute to the condition to check if car type attribute is null. Then I need to change the question. Now, previously I've asked in the form of an open text question. Now I like to change this to a question that is based on what do you call multiple choice. So the first thing I'll do is I'll click on card, then I click on edit. I type in the title. Title, make sure it's not longer than 13 characters. Then I type in the question, what is your car type? Okay. Right? And in here, I want to allow the user three different questions. So sedan, sedan, and pickup, pickup, and convertible, convertible. Make sure your button label is not longer than 16 characters as well. Click done, done. Now, since I've changed the question, I've changed the condition, I need to change the action as well. So the attribute here at the action box must match the attribute here at the condition box. So I need to change this to car type as well. Otherwise, if I don't save the response into car type, the next time the user come in, it will ask a question again because it is checking based on car type, right? So now, as you have seen, by default, the template have three different questions. If you like to add more question, what you need to do is again, click on the last note over here. You can see the last action over here. Okay, add the condition. So we're going to check contact custom attribute. Let's just say this time it's um, uh, price, car price, right? It's null. Okay, so we are just recreating all these three different nodes here. Okay, I'm going to severe the connection between this because now there's an additional question, right? And I'm going to connect it over here like so. Okay, and I'm going to connect this one over here as well. So you can see it's repeating the same rhythm. Next, I need to create the content box to ask the question. So I'm going to ask, what is the price of your current car? And again, because I'm expecting a reply from the user, I'm going to click the wait for user message checkbox. Next, I'm going to connect this condition here. If car price is null, that means we do not know what is the car price, so we need to ask this question, link it over here, and then if car price is not null, otherwise that means we already have the answer, we're going to connect it to set appointment time over here, right? And as usual, after the white box, we're going to create the blue box, which is the action box, to save the response. So we're going to choose car price. Again, the attribute name in the action box and the what they call attribute name in the condition box must be the same, right? So custom car price response. Okay, and I'm going to connect this node over here because the minute the user have a reply, we want to save this reply response into this attribute and connect it back to this little thing here. Okay, so that's it. Once you're done, you have checked everything, click on this save button to save the changes, and you're good to go.